Hey y'all, welcome to the Jezebelway Tarot. Today I'm going to be doing a second video to the general collective twin flame reading. Getting into how are they feeling, both parties, blocks, and the like. So let's kind of get into what are the blocks between the two of you. The divine masculine and the divine feminine. What are the blocks? Beginnings. Letting the past be the past. Beginnings, right? Prosperity. Growing. Coming together to conscientiously grow something, right? Solitude's an issue. I think feminine's in sort of a hermit mode because she's cut off the masculine, right? And or vice versa, however it works for you guys out there. Closing out cycles, trying to learn from tower moments, trying to learn from the solitude within herself. Masculine, I think, over here is feeling very powerful. This is about pride and power and abundance and accumulation as a status symbol for the masculine. I think whatever the masculine's doing here is a show of force, a show of power. Kind of looks like to me, the thing that's sort of missing here to me in keeping this in separation is a lot to do with not seeking out the divinity in this situation. When are we consulting spirit? When are we doing our work? When are we looking toward the inner light in the situation? You know, the divine masculine and feminine are sort of caught up in a game with each other, a tit for tat, you know, I'm going to show your ass, okay? That kind of thing. And for some of you out there, if it's not the case, then it doesn't apply to you. But I think there's a lot of nursing wounds, creating wounds, but not a lot of inner work having to do with what's my purpose here? What's my mission here? You know, what am I learning from this journey? I think the feminine is leaning more toward the intuitive parts of the relationship, right? Trying to use the intuition. Trying to go on a new path, trying to create something new. I think here the masculine is sort of in the pride stage, sort of like, haha, arrogance. Arrogance is going to end up trapping. You know, pride comes before the fall, right? So anytime you're living in a state of arrogance, I think that you have to get ready for a fall. You know, that's kind of the way it works, right? Masculine's also trapped in fear of the connection. That's why the people, the places, the events, the this, the that, the other that are sort of cushioning the masculine from his journey, cushioning the masculine from moving forward on this journey toward the feminine, toward his own mission, toward spiritual awakening, are as a result of being afraid of oneself, being afraid of oneself. The foundation of the relationship is what needs to happen here, right? You've got 2 4s here, 11-11 basically. New path, letting go of resentment, listening to the intuition. Again, more crossroads. So the blocks between the two of you are empowerment and pride and arrogance. Being at the center instead of this being at the center. This waiting room of, what's the purpose of it all? Is the purpose of it for me to be able to torture somebody for the rest of my life? No. Is the purpose for me to become more spiritual and bring me back to myself? I'm whole, to bring on my wholeness. That's the purpose, but that's kind of being overlooked by all of this pettiness and pride and arrogance and wounding. And feminine is starting to take the journey away from those ideas. She's saying, okay, you win. If arrogance and pride is where you want to be, then you win. That's where you want to be. That's where I'm going to leave you, right? I'm looking at something else because I have to. I have to look at something else. I have to look at the more spiritual aspects. I've come a long way toward working on my own healing and wholeness. Okay? And I'm not going to be in this arrogance and pride with you anymore. I can't do it. And as well as I do, it only takes one of us to do that before the other one spins their head around and decides that they need to do it too, right? We have a lot of issues about the feminine standing her ground and the masculine having a mental conflict about the response of the feminine. Temptation is being given into by both parties. This is a shadow time. Conflict and defeat happening on both sides. But I think, though, that once everybody gets through these shadow periods and all these different things that are going on, feminine is making her way out of 3D thinking and protections. Masculine's feeling defeated by that because he's taking that on a personal level. Taking it on as, well, this person doesn't want me, doesn't love me, doesn't whatever. And it's not. It's about the feminine's personal journey here to not be stuck in these wheels of karma, this 3D pettiness, nastiness in relationships. They're just wounds that are surfacing. So the feminine is trying to find her band-aid. She's trying to find her healing in it. Masculine is sitting in it for a minute. Getting in alignment is really what has to happen here, and that's what's happening. It just looks different on each side, right? Feminine's made a decision which will mirror to the masculine. Okay, hey, I need to calm my shit down, right? And then you have alignment. Then you have getting in each other's own way. You have getting in alignment with one another. You're in this together, right? Then you've got triumph. You've got your forward movement. So it could be some of you are going through like a shadow period right now with yourself. And of course, it's reflected in the other party. So let's kind of see how they're feeling about you right now. Let's see how the masculine's feeling about the feminine. Whoa. The masculine's concentrated right now in sort of an immature ego way. Magician is representing the ego. I'm going to be the man. I want to be the man, And so I think that's kind of part of the problem. I'm going to make it happen. I'm not going to be rejected. I'm not going to be this or that, I think it's kind of an ego deal. Yeah, being overwhelmed by the toxicity and the heartbreak. I mean, that's kind of where the both of you are at right now. It's starting to become taxing mentally. Feel like a lot of loss and a lot of lack. Like, you hear this saying, well, if they wanted to, they would, or if they're, this idea going around about twin flames being toxic and being allowed to use a toxic relationship to be glorified or whatever they're saying. Well, those people are applying, again, 3D rules to a 5D relationship that's not a physical relationship, okay? And that's where we get tripped up and lose our focus when we start trying to do that. A lot of lack. Where are they? How come they aren't here? Why aren't they calling me? Why aren't they contacting me? If they wanted to be with me, they would be here, right? A lot of that happening, I think, with both parties. Masculines reacting to that with vices, with, you know, vices. Ego, you know. Feminine is retreating. Recognizing the lack and retreating. Lack without is lack within. And so there's not going to be any more work put in to the situation. Okay? Right now. Outward work, right? It's all going to be inner. So let's see what's going on. How does the masculine feel about the feminine? Well, okay. He's all shook up, right? Yeah. Wanting to move forward. But I'm afraid the masculine's kind of put the feminine on hold here a little bit. Truth is, masculine wants to move forward. I think this is an issue about not getting needs met. Again, which is a 3D thing. Let's see what this is about, this needy Queen of Cups over here. Unemotional, not fulfilled, not nurtured. Masculine doesn't feel nurtured or fulfilled by the feminine. Yeah. He wants to be the man, okay? Wants to be the man, and this is totally ego. I want to bring home the bacon. I want what I want, and I want a little sidekick, you know, who follows me along on my path. I don't want to contribute equally to another's path, right? My twin. I want to be the number one, right? So they can look really good, lay back and look really good, right? Queen of Cups over here, which is representing the feminine, isn't doing it. Masculine's acting out of a place of ego. So that's the lack for the masculine. Lack for the feminine is emotional fulfillment. Lack for the masculine is, you know, feeling like they need to be in a place of image and looking good at the feminine's expense. Okay? Masculine is having some enlightenment about the relationship, though. They are juggling and they're not telling. They're not being transparent about whatever this other thing is, right? That they're juggling, or person. Juggling another lover. Juggling another lover for the sake of the show. I mean, I can't get caught by myself. You know, if I'm such a man... and men out there, I don't mean to offend you, okay? It's not really about man-woman stuff. It's about ego, right? And it's coming out in a masculine sort of way for the masculine. I can't be alone if I'm such a stud, you know? If I'm such a catch. Or I want to make my feminine think I'm such a catch that she has to be on a waiting list to have my attention. I mean, what kind of shit is that? The road less traveled, okay? So there may be an idea here happening that the masculine's not being transparent about and juggling. And masculines, if you feel like this is the story for your feminine, do your thing, okay? But there's a secret here, and I'll tell you why. Let me show you what I've got. And, yeah. So there's the juggling of the two. There's the secret in the lovers, juggling of the two lovers, right? Offer's not being made, is it? To anyone. Whoever's there, whatever karmic is there right now is to serve the purpose of the masculine, right? Secret. No offer. There's not going to be an offer, right? So that's kind of what we're looking at. But let's check out what this High Priestess has to tell us. Yeah, truth's coming out about moving forward. It sure does look good, doesn't it? But it's a big ass burden. Big ass burden. Something's fixing to be taken apart and put back together again. This not being caught alone, the masculine is starting to cost. Starting to get trapped, starting to want to get the hell out, starting to get that itch, right? And they will be moving forward. Third party situation will be laid down. Then, of course, there's going to be talk about restoring stability. This karmic served a purpose to restore stability for this masculine. But he wasn't happy. Right? So here we go again with the twins coming in. No offer. But there's no deception either. Prevention of a tower. What is this? Moon. I think it's going to be coming out in the wash. You're going to be hearing about how yet another relationship didn't work out. Yeah. Forward movement is not fulfilling. No, thank you. I don't think I'll be committed to this. So that's what's going on with the karmic. Karmic keeps creeping into, karmic keeps creeping in here. Sorry. Let's see. How does the masculine feel about the feminine? Because that's a question we ask, isn't it? How does the masculine feel about the feminine? Universe, I need to see. Karmic wants to come in on this. This masculine feel about the feminine. Having the courage to come forward with the offer and speak the love for the happiness. Battling oneself, defensiveness about holding on, wanting to move forward in the future, wanting to be transparent but not being. Transformation. And again, we have this damn high priestess and this king of wands, get it on bang a gong thing. The secret is it's a bunch of bullshit with the other situation. Truth coming in. Okay? Transformation happens when the truth happens. Masculine's working up the courage to have a conversation with the feminine about, hey, you want to give this a try. Two of Cups energy. Making the decision to come together for the wish fulfillment, the happiness, the emotional fulfillment, the twin flame energy of the Ten of Cups. Masculine is defensive about having held on to the feminine. Feminine knows, okay, that the masculine's holding on to her. The feminine already knows. So it's no secret, right? Wanting to move forward in the future. Hey, I'm going to be transparent with you. I've always held on to you. I want to clear up some confusion here. I want a transformation to happen in this situation. Here's the truth. Truth is, this was just someone to fulfill a need. This was someone to fulfill something for me, which is usually the case. So let's see, how does the feminine feel about the masculine? She wants to have a conversation about the same thing, except she is coming out of hiding. She's not happy. She feels lack. She's not going to offer a damn thing up. I think the feminine actually is going to do a lot of listening. Queen of Swords here with the red border, right? She's confident about what's happening. She's confident within herself. She knows she made the right decision. There's a lot of blue here that indicates that she's not going to do a lot of the talking. She's going to let the masculine do the talking about what happened in the relationship, how to seek balance, how to make things right, how to mature in this situation. Where's the balance and the justice going to be had here? Are you single or are you not single? What's the thing with the love interest? King of Wands is going to say, no, it's not love. It's just what it is, right? No sex. The sex was not good either. Burdens. Feminine saying, I'm not going to promise you're going to get another opportunity here. I'm not sure if that's the right way to go. I need to see some stability and solidity. I need to see a little commitment from you. I need to see some effort. I need some truth. I need you to, cowboy up and let's get this, show on the road here. The Empress, I'm moving forward only as a committed partner and only as an upward movement in my own life, in my own ascension, in my own spirituality, in my own growth. I'm not dealing with this from the past, this idea that I benefit you or that there's something that you are codependent and needy about. I want fulfillment and I want nurturing from my soulmate twin flame here. Then we can move forward, but you got to show me the money. That's what she's saying. Show me the money. So that's kind of how the feminine's feeling about the masculine. I want to go into what is the masculine going to do? What's the feminine going to do? What are the intentions? And, what they need to confess to you. What do they need to tell you? So let's get some love cards on it and see how this thing's going to go here. Worth waiting for. Passion. Make the effort in the reverse. Chemistry. Releasing each other. And paying attention to the red flags. Express your love. All right, so of course, divine timing is at work in your love life. Well, we know that in twin flame relationships, divine timing is always at work. Most importantly, though, to get you to take an inner look at yourself, right? There's always going to be passion in the twin flame relationship, right? So the expression here is that there is passion here. There is still love here. Of course, there's going to be. With the twin, when the two of you are connecting, it doesn't matter really who's in the room, right? Somebody may end up getting their feelings hurt, right? Because it's such a magnetic attraction that you just can't help yourselves, right? Making the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps that you're guided to take. So let's read that again. It's in the reverse, right? So I think the masculine is wrapped up with a karmic and the feminine's like, you know what, I need to go on my own road here. But the idea is taking the steps you're guided to take. Well, what steps are you guided to take? Are you guided to stalk your masculine all day long and get into recon mode and look at their pictures all day long and watch this and watch that? No, that's obsession. That's toxic. That's because you're avoiding going into yourself and saying, okay, why do I feel this longing? Why am I seeking validation? Why do I feel like I need to be loved by this person when really I need to love myself? So what steps are you being guided to take now, right now? Feminines, some of you have been guided to sort of lay this connection down for a moment and go and focus on the self, right? Either career or your spiritual path or finding peace or doing shadow work or healing some of those childhood wounds, right? So this is about paying attention to divine timing. The attraction and the love for the twin is built in. It's ready-made. Okay, it's there. But what are you going to be doing with that? What are you doing with it? Because this is an inner work, right? So pay attention to where the universe is leading you. Pay attention to what intuitive hits you're getting. What kind of downloads are you getting? What do they say? Chemistry. Yeah, there's a magnetic attraction. Yes, there's always going to be a magnetic attraction, and it's built in. It's by design. But that's not what this story is about. It's not about the attraction. It's about the reflection, right, of them to you, the reflection that they're giving you of yourself. Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. This is about, of course, the idea in the previous video about the feminine laying down a boundary regarding karmic relationships, regarding karmic lesson cycles, regarding behavior patterns in relationships. So, for example, what you tolerate in relationships will be reflected back to you in your twin so that you can break that cycle. That's one example of red flags. What signs are you getting? Release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. The time has come to clear your energy. Therefore, do your shadow work. Do your inner work. And I'm talking about bringing out the big baddies. I'm not talking about let's hang some crystals from the ceiling and, no. This is about inner work as far as, well, for example, someone could say, well, my father was very unattentive to me growing up, and so now I seek out emotionally unavailable partners because that feels normal to me. Or, my mother was overbearing, and so now I seek out very strong personalities. Whatever the scenario. That's what I'm talking about when it says clear your energy. There are things that you have to do in order to make yourself whole again. And that's part of being able to feel whole without your twin. That's part of getting to the place in your life in which you are understanding. Compassion comes later, right? But where you're understanding that your twin, your counterpart has their journey, you have your journey, and it hurts less. Still have ego issues that you've got to deal with, but you're saying, that's their lesson. It's not my lesson. I've got my lessons over here. And in order to protect myself, in order to protect my energy and maintain my focus and not allow them to bring me into their chaos, I have to kind of cut the cord a little bit, right? You're not cutting them, the connection. You're laying down a boundary so that you can go on and do what it is that you have to do for yourself. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. Well, in this case, express your love could mean, of course, sending them the love energy, meditating on, what's for the highest good in this situation, allowing yourself to get your downloads, listening to what's being presented to you. That's about expressing your love. Unconditional love can be expressed. Got to check your ego first, though, or it won't be that way at all. Let's see where we are on the love field over here. Choose love. This is a 3, getting in alignment with the idea of love. Does it mean I only love you if you love me back? Well, yeah, in 3D relationships. If you're talking about romantic love, right? Does it mean that I'm going to keep over here pining for you and waiting for you to, throw me a bone? No, that's not love. That's sacrifice. And that's not what we're doing here. It means getting in alignment with the idea of love itself, understanding that and being compassionate to a person's faults and their failings and their holes and their missing pieces and things like that. You always have a choice as to what you should do. So this is about knowing that they're flawed and loving them anyway, because that's a reflection of the love of yourself. Right? Love is all around you. This is a 7. Divinely guided love is all around you. You don't have to choose to fixate and focus on the other counterpart in order to experience and receive love and to give love. There's love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this as truth. So you want more love, be more love, right? In order to love, we have to learn to love ourselves. 22:11. The heart of the matter. There's more going on than meets the eye. Recognize what this is all about. Yeah, it's always the case, right? With the twins, there's always more going on than meets the eye. There's always things behind the scenes working to your highest good. 22 is about coming together or being on the same page, making the choice to be together. That's union. 11, new path. So, new path time. Actions speak loudly. 3, getting in alignment with what it is that you want. You're supported. Express your love through actions. Express your love through actions. It doesn't mean running up there and showing up and at their job or whatever and be like, I love you. No, that's not what that means. Sometimes love means creating boundaries. Sometimes love means creating distance. Sometimes love's saying, you know, I love you, but I love myself more, and I'm not going to allow you to hurt me anymore. Right? Well, let's see if we get some more love for the twins. Romance. Cupid's arrow strikes. Yes. Manifesting miracles. Your dream is soon to become reality. Trust your heart and continue to follow its guidance. Surrender. We were talking about that earlier, right? At times, we must surrender the old before something new can enter our lives. Let go, and it will all work out. Surrender the old means surrender the need for validation, the need for their love for you romantically. Surrendering to the fact that this journey is really kind of about yourself. Surrendering to the fact that you cannot control anything that they do. The only thing you can control is your reaction to it. Understanding that they're reacting to you at the level in which they are spiritually. Right? Surrendering to the fact that you can't be caught up in the yesterdays. You can't be caught up in the tomorrows. You got to look at things from where they are right now, where you are right now. When you pass from this world, you take nothing with you but your soul and the memories you have shared with those you love. So, I think that's a good example of understanding that love is really at the center of this thing. It's not necessarily romantic love. It's a spiritual love, and it's about coming back to yourself. Loving yourself enough to say no. Loving yourself enough to close the door. Loving yourself enough to do self-care. Loving yourself enough to get back out there and to date or to see people or to whatever. Loving yourself enough to focus on yourself and what you can control. And not fixating on the other person in an obsession phase, right? All right, so let's kind of see what is the masculine going to do? What are his intentions toward the feminine? One more. Masculine's going to move forward despite the obstacles with the twin. He does not want the separation. He does not like the distance between the two of you. He wants to communicate and put in the work. Right now, again, you know, he's on his way to finding what's solid for him, what's happy for him, what's real. Like I said, all these people and all of these karmics and all of this stuff I've put around me as a wall of protection between me and the world or between me and myself aren't satisfying me any longer. I'm separating from myself. I'm denying love to myself. And that's not bringing me a lot of stability. So they're on their way to try to find out how to stabilize. So their intention, of course, is to love you. Of course, is to move forward. They're going to. Eventually communicating about putting in the work. They've got to get from the bridge from A to B, right? They have to figure out, how do I get to that place of love, unconditional love? It has to start with love of self. It has to start with getting down to the nitty gritty and cutting out things in your life that aren't making you happy, right? Making the decision to give an offer, to end this separation, to communicate, to have the victory that's wanted in this situation, to lay down burdens that are unnecessary, to quit juggling karmics, and to quit running from yourself. They can be contented on their own, and they know that, but they're afraid of that. And so that's something that they've got to work out. So their intention, yes, is to come towards you. Of course it is. They've got to work things out on their own. And let's see what the intention is for the feminine to the masculine. For those masculines out there. I think that the feminine, excuse me, is going to have this conversation about why the offer wasn't made, why the work wasn't put in to solidify this. Overcoming heartbreak and burdens as a result of codependency. So some of you out there have an issue of codependency. There's emotional distance. There's a distance from the past. Overcoming the lack in the situation. Lack meaning lack of love, lack of communication, lack of feeling, lack of whatever. Feminine wants to have a conversation about this. What's breaking your heart, masculine? That's what the feminine's saying. What's continually breaking your heart? That's what needs to be addressed. So conversation's going to be had about some of the hot spots in the relationship. That's what the feminine wants to do. She wants to talk about how to fix this thing, right? Distance, wants to talk about distance, wants to talk about codependency and releasing the past, releasing the burdens. As the feminine should do. The feminine is the person who is stationary, who sends the nurturing, who is sometimes the more spiritual of the two parties. Is the one who flips the switch on sometimes for the masculine. So they want to talk about the more emotional aspects of the relationship. So let's kind of see what their next move's going to be. What are they going to do? What is their next move, though? What's their next move? What's the masculine's next move toward the feminine? Confident. They're going to be displaying a false confidence. They really feel defeated, though. They want their freedom. There's been a lot of telepathic communication between the two of you. It could be through song. It could be through, whatever thoughts that pop in your mind. They're trying to maintain and regain some dominance over themselves and over their life to protect themselves. Okay, very next move, of course, they're going to be expressing to you, outwardly or inwardly, how they feel about you. I think they know that they've manipulated this situation. They're trying to overcome some codependency. You may feel anger or feelings of anger. You may be feeling feelings of sadness. At other times, you may be feeling overwhelming love feelings, right, for your masculine. They're trying to overcome their heartache. Their lack of intimacy is what's creating all of this. Intimacy with you and intimacy with themselves. The lack of the ability to create intimacy with anyone, of course, is a self issue, right? Next up, though, they're going to be trying to express to you, of course, how they feel, because they want to see, are you still there? Are you still there, feminine? So let's see what's going on with the feminine toward the masculine. What are their next moves? What's the next move? I think the feminine wants to maintain an idea of service, even though they've created a boundary. I think feminine still wants to facilitate the journey for the masculine, and you can't do that. The masculine has to facilitate the journey for themselves. Still wanting to be of service to facilitate this union, right? That's a temptation for the feminine. Constantly wanting to enable and help, right? Feminine wants to focus on her career versus her desire for the masculine, which I think is a great progression here. Masculine's trying to get over his feminine, his shadow issues. Feminine's going to remain elusive. She feels a sense of freedom here. I think secretly she is going through all of those things that we all go through when we do separation. But at the center of this read right here, the feminine is going to resist the temptation to reach out. She's going to resist the temptation to heal the wound, to tend to the wound, right? Masculine has to tend to the wound because the wound is in him, right? Or her. So she's going to be resisting the temptation to try and pump the masculine back up again. So she's going to feel a sense of freedom from that, though. Big sense of freedom. So next move for feminine basically is going to be to keep things to herself. She's going to be elusive. She may still be checking in from time to time to see what's going on. She's really going to be resisting the temptation to be an enabler, which I think is a beautiful thing. So let's see some future energies, maybe for the next couple of weeks, what we can expect masculine versus feminine. Okay. Show me future energies. Show me the energies between the twins for the next 2 weeks. Universe, show me what I have. Show me some energies for the twins over the next 2 weeks. Show me energies for the next 2 weeks. New beginnings. Feeling young at this again. Putting down. This may happen very quickly. Putting down this, I'm the man situation, right? Well, I got them to the left and to the right of me over here, right? Putting that down, surrendering to this new beginning, moving forward. Happiness is not found in being a player. Happiness is not found in this solitary situation here for the masculine. Happiness is found in coming together here. Also, player will be meeting themselves, will be healing the childhood wound, beginning to work on that, right? Which I think is a good thing. Resisting the idea to separate. They're going to be wanting to come back again. Remember and check the temperature and say, hey, are you still there? There's not going to be a lot of phone conversations between the two of you. There may be a lot of silence, okay? Until they come into the idea that, oh, okay, this is another thing I'm doing. Hey, feminine, how you doing? Are you still there? Meanwhile, I think the feminine will be focusing on herself and her own forward movement. She's not going to be wrapped up in this expectation of family and, you know, that whole traditional thing. She's going to be overcoming traditional expectations and moving forward. I think the masculine may be coming forth with an offer with some balance regarding the twin flame relationship, thinking about the future, okay, thinking about where it stands now as opposed to where it could be in the future. That's what the masculine's going to be doing. You both may be focusing on that. Well, I mean, we're so-and-so years old. We're running out of time. When is this going to come to fruition here? So over the next 2 weeks, a lot of self-searching and a lot of ideas about ridding blocks. Ego is going to be put in check by the masculine. I think the separation is going to be too great an issue for him. Doesn't want the separation. Mourning the loss of an old life. Mourning the loss of something that should have happened for them that didn't happen when they were children. Communication will be will happen only after they figure this childhood issue out, or coming back to themselves, or reuniting their younger self with the older self, or the authentic self with the now self, whichever one, right? Feminine's going to be concentrating on herself and her own forward movement. A lot of you feminines may be hitting the gym, trying to get svelte for summer, whatever. You're going to be concentrating on the self. You're not going to be concentrating on what might have been. And of course, both of you are going to be thinking about, what does the relationship look like years down the road? Why have I been holding back this offer? You know, how can I bring balance back into this situation? Why do I continually feel overwhelmed when I'm striving for balance continually? I'm going to do what it takes. I need to do what it takes instead of running off and creating false battles to run away. I need to take opportunities to be transparent. I want this reconciliation. I need to gain the courage to put my own burdens and my own shit down, right? And nurture this situation. So, that's what I have for you for that second half. Hope you guys get something from it. And I'll be right back. We're going to look into the karma situation.